Hello guys and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. Today we are filming one of my favorite videos to do, which is a foundation first impression. The foundation we are going to be talking about today is the CYO Long Lasting Lifeproof Foundation. CYO has kind of like blown up here on YouTube as of recently. It's a makeup brand, a super affordable makeup brand that is only sold on Walgreens. I don't know if it's like Walgreens' own makeup brand or if it's just exclusive to Walgreens. You get 1 fluid ounce of product in here per usual, and it doesn't have a ton of claims, at least in the bottle, but it says that you're always flawless, never filtered, shake, dot on cheeks, nose, chin, etc., and blend using fingers. So that obviously doesn't really say much, so I'm gonna pull this up on Walgreens' website and see what they claim. Okay, so I found the description online. It says that it's a creamy, lightweight foundation that really goes the distance. Smudge and transfer free, this formula will leave skin looking fresh and flawless around the clock without the cakey feeling. Ugh. Like, they actually put ugh in the description. 15 medium coverage shades are available, buildable, and comfortable to wear. Virtually everyone can get in on the action. And apparently it's vitamin E, known to nourish and moisturize skin while looking and feeling flawless. So that's pretty much it. This retails for $7 on Walgreens' website. This entire makeup brand, like everything that they sell, I don't think anything is over $8. Like, so affordable, especially for a foundation, especially nowadays, because even now drugstore foundations are costing like $15 and creeping up to the price of high-end brands. So I was really excited to see that this was available to ship. I got it shipped directly to my Walgreens, which is like down the street from me, and it shipped for free, which is really cool. And when I bought it, it was like buy 2 get 1 free. So I bought this, another foundation from the same brand, and then I got like a little like blush, bronzer, highlight kind of thing, and I spent like 12 bucks for all 3 of those things. So it's a really affordable line and a really affordable foundation. However, you can definitely tell that this is very affordable. It's very like cheapy plastic packaging. Like, this doesn't have a ton of weight to it. It's a very like cheap plastic cap. It does have a pump, which, like I've been saying in most of my foundation videos, I think a pump is pretty much standard nowadays. Like, I don't think that you can get away, even with the $7 foundation, not having a pump. So I do love that, and it looks like it has one of those like spring loaded bottoms, just from what I can tell so far, where while as you use it, I think it'll start pushing the product up, which is so awesome. I don't think a lot of foundations have that, but that is such a good way to make sure that you're actually using all the product in here and it's not making it hard for you to get it out. So I think that is such an awesome feature. I did get the shade 107. I don't know if you can tell, the lighting might be washing me out a little bit, but I'm like very tan right now. I have a spray tan on, so I'm like 5 shades darker than my normal skin tone. I swear, like, almost none of my foundations match me right now, but I did buy this when I was spray tanned, so I got a darker shade just to see if it would match me. Also, like, all the shades were sold out online because this is like so popular all of a sudden that there was like nothing available. And on Walgreens, it has a 4.4 star rating out of 5. So that's pretty good. So like usual, we are going to do one side with a brush, one side with a sponge, just to see if we like the application better one way or another. I'm gonna zoom you in and let's get started. Also, I don't know if you guys could tell, but I got a new camera. So we are filming in, I think, a lot better quality. I think that the whole setup is gonna be a lot more awesome, like in terms of my actual filming setup, and hopefully the quality of the actual video itself and just my content in general. So I don't know if you can tell a difference. I hope you can. I'm just enjoying filming on this a lot better. It's a lot easier to do everything, so I'm very excited. I hope you are too. So for application method, I'm going to use this crown, I don't know what it's called, this crown brush for the brush side. And you guys know I've been so obsessed with, well, I've always been obsessed with this, but especially lately with my Real Techniques diamond sponge. It's like filthy, but that's because I use it. This is real life, but I'm freaking obsessed with that sponge. I literally use it at any opportunity. I don't know how the match situation is gonna be. Like, this is pretty dark. That's how it comes out. So as you can see, it's kind of runny, quite runny actually, but it's also pretty dark, which I need. I just don't know if it's gonna be dark enough, so we're gonna find out. I'm just going to dot this around my face like I usually do. Like, I don't know if this is gonna oxidize. I've seen like a handful of videos on this foundation. I think a lot of people are starting to look into this foundation just because it's so affordable and relatively accessible. They only sell it online, but since it is Walgreens, you can get it shipped to you or shipped to your local Walgreens store. So even though you can't like go in and get it, it's still, I would consider it fairly accessible because Walgreens is fairly accessible to most people. So I just did like one full pump and then like a half, which is pretty standard. That's usually what it takes to do like my forehead, chin, and a whole cheek. So I'm gonna start with the brush on this side, and the color looks okay so far. It's definitely very like neutral toned, like it's not warm or cool. This is 107, remember? So if you're neutral, that's probably where this one would fall on the spectrum. Ooh. And all I have on my face so far is just moisturizer, no primer or anything. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of primers, but I also don't think they're really good to use for foundation first impressions, so I'm just moisturized, that's it. So I hope you guys can see, definitely pretty luminous. I think you can see the like kind of reflecting all off my cheek, and very like light feeling. It feels very light on the skin, but it actually provided quite a bit of coverage. I do have like a little bit of texture and like a little bit of blemishes over here, and it looks completely smoothed out. Like everything is the exact same shade now. It's laying like very smooth, like it's not looking heavy. I think because the formula is like kind of thin and runny, as you saw, it's not really like a heavy foundation in general, which is weird because usually decently full coverage foundations have a pretty like thick, you know, pigmented formula. But this looks so smooth, and it glided over like so easy. Like it was so easy to blend in, and as you saw, it took me like 2 seconds to blend that in. So I'm gonna try to put the same exact amount on the other side here. We're going in with the sponge now. I have a little bit more to cover on this side. As you can see, like I have a little blemish right there. So this side also looks nice and pretty smooth, but I definitely don't think I got quite as much coverage as I got on this side, just because even like right around my mouth, like a little bit of the redness around my nose and stuff, I can see more, and I definitely have more to cover on this side, but you can definitely still see that blemish peeking through right there. It definitely looks just as smooth and was just as easy to blend in with the sponge, but I think that you definitely get a little bit more coverage with the brush, which it would be my preferred method. Like if I'm gonna use a foundation that has medium coverage, I definitely want to get that medium coverage. I do think I need a tiny bit more coverage, so I'm just gonna put like another little tiny squirt right there on my cheek and just blend that in with the brush. So that got us where we wanted to be. I think I'll probably still spot conceal that just like a tiny bit. This does only claim to be a medium coverage foundation, and I think that's like spot on. It's definitely medium coverage. If you have a lot to cover, like if you have a few blemishes like I do right now, I think that there would still definitely be some peeking through. But if you're mostly even and you just have, you know, a little bit of redness to cover up, I think this is exactly what you would be looking for, especially if you have like drier skin and you like a dewier foundation, because this is definitely that. It feels like it's only a little bit tacky still, like it's not set 100%. I'm obviously gonna set it because I always do, but it's like right in between like being set and being tacky. It's still like, I think, setting. But I'm of course going to set it. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. We're gonna see how everything goes on top of it. But so far, I think the color is spot on, especially like with my tan. Like I think it's matching. Like I honestly think it's almost a perfect match for the color I am now. So far, I think I like everything about it. I'm going to see how everything else performs on top, and I will be right back. Okay, so we are back with a little bit more of my face on. I didn't do my eyes or anything like that, but I just some bronzer, concealer, powder, that good stuff, just to kind of get my base together. And I have some thoughts. I still think that the color is really nice, and I don't think that it changed color at all, so I definitely don't think it oxidized. When it comes to these blemishes over here, like it kind of is like it's clinging to the dry portion of it, and that's kind of to be expected, but it's definitely doing that. And I also feel like my pores are like really accentuated. Like I do have like relatively like noticeable pores, but they're like really out to play. I do typically use a pore filler literally just right here for that reason, and I didn't do that today just to see what it would look like, but let me get a little closer and show you. So I hope you guys can tell, like, see right here, I have like a huge pore right there. And then over here too, like, it's just really accentuating those. And I guess while I'm here, I'll show you. I do definitely see, and I'm sure you do, some definite creasing in my smile lines, which usually happens with almost every single foundation. So I don't really get too upset when that happens because I kind of expect it to happen. My smile lines are very, very defined, unfortunately. But what I did notice, I don't know if it's gonna be very clear. Can you guys see? I have two creases like right here, which I don't even understand because there's no like my face doesn't really do anything in that space. Like, there's no muscle there that would cause it to crease, and I don't feel like I normally get like random ass creases right there. Of course, it's also settled. You can definitely tell it's definitely settling into my forehead, which I also don't really hold against it because I have a lot of creases. I don't know, is it normal for, I'm like 25, should I have this many creases? I'm not exactly sure. But the other thing that I did notice when I was applying my other products, like my concealer and powders and stuff, almost everything went on perfectly except my bronzer over here is like so freaking patchy. Like, you probably can't really tell. Actually, maybe you can. Like right here, it's like not sticking, and I don't know if that's because maybe I didn't apply my powder like as well as I could have right there, or if it has anything to do with the fact that I used the sponge over there and maybe the sponge just caused it to like apply kind of weird. But this side like looks perfectly fine. I didn't have any problems over here. This side just went on a little bit funky. So my overall thoughts on this is that it's definitely not bad for a $7 foundation. Like, I don't dislike it. I think the coverage is really good. I think it looks really smooth for the most part, and I do like that I didn't have to use a ton of product to get the kind of coverage I like, especially after I added a tiny bit of concealer and powder. I definitely have the finish that I prefer on my face, but there's definitely some cons, as I pointed out, with some of the creasing, a little bit of the patchiness, and my pores, but I think that might be able to be fixed. A, if I maybe use a brush on all the sides, and B, use a pore filler. I think anything that's wrong with it could be fixed. Maybe I need to just put a little bit of more moisturizer or something down here to prevent some of this chin creasing. And I love the shade. The packaging kind of sucks, but that doesn't bother me at all. So overall, I would say this is like a pretty decent foundation. It's definitely not my favorite, but I will certainly continue to reach for it because it does most of the things I would want it to do, and I can look past some of the things it does that I don't want it to do, especially for $7. I totally think that it's worth it. If you're interested in this brand or you're balling on a budget and you need some more foundation, definitely check it out. There's a lot of other products in this line, and there is another foundation that I did purchase that I'll probably do a video on, and I think it's more of a matte foundation. It's in like a squeeze tube, whereas this is like more of the long-lasting dewy version of that. So that is going to be everything for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I am loving these foundation videos. I hope that you guys are too. I so appreciate you watching and being here. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here. And until next time, I will catch you guys in our next video. Bye, guys.